there, friendlies. How's up? Welcome to the 5th of November edition of my fantabulous live stream. I hope everyone can hear me. A little bit of water. Right before we went live, I was in the middle of a wicked coughing fit, so, Can I? Yes, okay, you can probably hear me then. So, let's just start off with the weekly, whatever I say, housekeeping, which is the part where I say, welcome to the Bevies, Blades, and Bushcraft live stream, where we have bevies, we have blades, and we will, if we're lucky, talk about some bushcraft stuff. I don't have a reading or anything like that tonight because I'm just not yet finished feeling like garbage. So my energy is quite low. In fact, I'm going to take one of these. Excuse me. I hope everyone's having a good week. If you're watching us, time shifted to tomorrow or next week or next month. Thank you for your eyes. Thank you for your comments and the doobly below. If at any point tonight you love what's happening, I invite you to drop me a smiley thumb. If at any point tonight you really hate what's going on, that's okay. The frowny thumb works just as well. And if you'd like to take a more active role in keeping the lights on around this place, then I invite you to check out the join button, give it a little right click, open it in a new tab, and there you will see the 2 tiers of membership that are available to you for your hard-earned cash, as well as what each tier gets you. Now, before we go much further, I'm just going to see who's hanging with us tonight. I forgot to turn that off again. That's the magic when I come running down here with like minutes to spare. Actually, I think I set this up with about a half hour to spare today, this evening. Gonna drink some more water. How many of you noticed that Dennis is back on live streaming starting tonight? Nice to see. I'm going to catch up with his live stream tomorrow. Excuse me for one. Sorry about that, folks. So who's hanging? Let's just check it out. Check it out. We got David Evans popping in right up just as I made this stream happen, like just as I set it up and posted the scheduled notification at 8:45. We have Mark Davidson popping in a minute later saying hi. Country Boy popped in at 8:49. I do need to say that David Evans is a channel hero and a channel mod. So be nice. Don't forget to hit that, and he won't drop the hammer on you. Mark Davidson is a channel hero. Country Boy Trapped in the City, who is this dude right here, who popped in at 8:49, is also a channel hero and a channel mod. So be nice to him as well. Okay. Who else we got popping in? We have Canadian. How's it going, Mr. Canadian? Nice to see you tonight. All right, everyone's just saying hi to each other, so I'm going to roll on down. There we got Mr. Chris. How you doing? What part of the country are you in tonight? I hope wherever you are, the weather is beautiful and you're having a good, relaxing evening. Canadian's only got 10% of his battery left. Okay, well, in that case, hi while you're still with us. Peanut Trucker is running down the list of his heroes, which is nice to see. Peanut Trucker, by the way, is a channel mod, so it'd be nice. I'm just trying to skip past people saying hi to each other. Yeah, Peanut Trucker is telling Canadian to charge your damn phone. Yeah, you can plug those in and still use the phone at the same time, right? Peanut Trucker is in Atlanta, load in the morning for California. Yay. That's a long haul. That's a long drive. So, obviously, you're going to have to stop to sleep and stuff, but how long would that load, like, would that haul take you on average? Christy popping in to say hi to everyone. Christy is a channel hero. Nice to see you. Okay, a lot of people saying hi. A lot of blah, 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 blah. Ah, Destiny in. Saying hi to everyone. Excuse me. Sorry, I didn't mute myself fast enough there. Destiny is also a channel hero. You can tell by the little icon next to their names. What do we got? Just checking. Okay, so this is the part. If Canadian says I hear birdie, is that where I actually started? I came on. Yeah, that was at 9 o'clock exactly. So you guys were active before the start of this thing. And there's Cliff. How you doing, Cliff? How's the weather down where you are? How's your mood? How's your evening? How's everything? Oh, the way this works is there's still a bit of a learning curve associated with this solution that I'm using, but whatever. It's so much more affordable than the other one that I'm really not willing to complain just yet, unless I find like a real problem. Destiny says she thinks I gave her my cold. She's been sitting in the nose, keeping it clogged all night. Thanks, bud. I'm here for you, Destiny. I'm here for you, buddy. Honeybee in the house. Just got home from work. You kicking back with a beverage tonight? I'm sorry. I gotta be faster on that mute button. I keep missing it. Happy Tuesday, says Shawnee. How's it going, Shawnee? I'm just checking on something on the YouTube screen. There's Whiskey Harbor in the house as well. How you doing? I hope you're doing great on this fine evening. It was kind of chilly this morning, and then it got really warm, like 20 degrees today here. So I don't know about the rest of you, but it's going to be about the same tomorrow. This is November, dude. What's up with that? Not that I'm complaining about being able to wear shorts, but you know. I just saw someone else right before everything jumped. Oh, there we go. Homie in the house. Homie bought a really cool knife. How long did you say that thing was? That blade, was that an 11-inch blade? And what the hell was it called again? Man, the photo of that thing looked huge. Destiny Peanut Trucker is in Atlanta. He's loading up in the morning for a trip to California. Boom, 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 boom. Marcus in the house. How you doing, Marcus? So the clocks changed this past weekend, right? Like, the only reason why I know that is because the clock in the car was like an hour off. But I guess when I actually work in the office, everyone's like, oh my God, spring forward, fall back. But I was totally not expecting that. I mean, am I right? Was it this weekend? Let me check that. Let me look away from the camera while you guys are just waiting for me to interact with you. Oops. Trying to find time change. 2024. Fall 2024. Does that sound right? Daylight saving time 2024 in Canada. Yeah, fall back on Saturday, 2nd of November. Oh, come on, sinuses. So yeah, that was I didn't even know it was coming. Nice weather down in Georgia. That's good to know. I like it when it's. Does Georgia ever get like cold though? Or is it far enough south that you never get? Not you, Chris, but that they never really get a lot of snow. Like, I'm not expecting Floridians to be dealing with blizzards throughout the winter, but like Georgia's pretty far south too, right? One of these days, I'm just sort of everyone's saying hi to each other. I'm just taking a look to make sure I'm not missing anyone who's popped in, and I'm Destiny said, I was thinking of the snow angel Canadian while the snow is falling this morning. We have not yet had snow here. Chrissy's doing all right for a Tuesday. Of course, you're doing all right for a Tuesday. It is live stream night. What am I looking for again? Okay. Peanut Trucker says, I load tomorrow and it doesn't deliver till Monday. So we have plenty of time, but it takes about 2.5 to 3 days. I'll be out there Saturday. That seems really fast. And that's a lot of, you know what? I keep thinking of the United States as Canada, right? I mean, that's still, you're hauling, but you're outside blowing leaves in the dark? You know, you could have left that for after work tomorrow or something. I do not blow leaves here. I hate how I think some people use a leaf blower to blow the leaves into like a pile, like in the middle of the lawn that they can then pick up. But around here, it's like everyone just blows the leaves off their property onto the streets. So every time I see someone with a leaf blower, I want to go over and just snap it. Like, you selfish asshole. In fact, for the longest time, I thought that's what they were for. Until one day, I saw some guy end of the block with a leaf blower, and I was like, oh. So I went over to. I didn't go over. I was gonna be passing him to go to the dollar store or something, and I saw that he was blowing everything into this little pile in the middle. I was like, "Oh, you can do that?" Destiny's asking Christy if they get seasonal changes in the area. Sorry about the dumb question. I was down there in November a few years ago, and it was still pretty hot. Wicked rain one of the days we were there, though. I did a 3-episode series, short series, mini series on my channel about that trip. If I could be arsed to, I would find that little playlist and drop it in the side chat. But I just don't want to be like staring at the other screen, like scroll while you guys are waiting for me to comment and talk and interact and be great. Be just fabulous, as is my style. After a week, Peanut Turker says he's ready to get back on the road. I think you really need to love being on the road to do that kind of job without it just driving you bonkers. As I said, every time I talk about that kind of life, man, you know, and I know that I don't know a thing about what I'm talking about. I'm just going based on theory. I do like a long drive. I like just throwing on, like, you know, a hardcore history podcast. These things are like 4 to 6 hours, and being like, this will get me to Toronto. I like a nice long drive solo. Maybe got some stuff packed because I'm going on like a bushcraft trip or something. Man, I really wish I'd gone camping, like wild camping again this fall. Anyway, whatever. David, that is politics. I will say one thing. American elections tend to go red early, while all the rural, whatever a riding is in the States, are reporting, and then they sort of swing further blue later when the cities come in. If you're hoping for blue, that may swing it in your favor, and it may not. If you're hoping for red, then it may ruin your night, and it may not. That's all I'm going to say about it. Oh, look at this, though. Bought a new wood-burning camp stove on sale for $60 at Princess Auto. Too good deal not to scoop. If I lived in a province with a Princess Auto in it, I would probably be buying things as well. It seems that, like, the prices are unreasonably good sometimes there, especially when they got their sales going on. What kind of stove was it? Yes, yes, homie. Bark River Bravo 3, CPM 3V. It was on, oh, big honking knife. That's a bona fide chopper. Homie and I had this conversation. Like, I'm an axe guy, so I don't need a great big sword. But in certain parts of North America, it's better to have like a machete or a big chopper than an axe. Like, if you don't live in the kind of forest where I live, if you're somewhere that it might have more, I don't want to say bamboo, because I mean, I'm still talking within a North American context, but more sort of tropical or warm weather forest, then maybe a machete or an 11-inch chopper will do you better than an axe, you know? Yeah, Marcus, man, the time change messes me up as well. And because it happened while I'm feeling like utter garbage, maybe it didn't mess me up. Maybe I don't notice the mess up this time because I just feel so terrible anyway. Actually, I don't feel terrible. I can swallow solid foods now without, like, before it was just too painful to swallow solid food. So, you know, you're picking up another 335 tomorrow for $10. Where do you guys find these deals, man? Christy says, not really. Northern Arizona will have all 4 seasons. It's about 1.5 hours away. And they get snow. Here we just have bloody hot, and winter is probably like your fall. Good to know. Good to know. Country Boy says, it was 2 degrees here this morning and only got up to 11. How is Eastern Canada that much warmer than the West? That's what happens when you wreck the climate. But like, this is not normal. This is not normal. And it's been not normally warm. Like, and then it would dip into kind of more seasonal temperatures, like, 2 to 8 kind of thing, or 2 to 10 maybe. And then right back up to this warmth. It's like, whew, I don't know how to dress anymore. And like, when you get this kind of thing happening with the weather outside, that's when you start to see a lot of people getting colds and stuff anyway, right? Marcus says they don't count if you don't light them. I light my lanterns. I'm very grateful for all of my lanterns. In fact, I didn't pay for any of my lanterns. They were all gifts. Like, how lucky does that make me? And they were all gifts from YouTube friends. You think I can ask someone, anyone that I live with for, for camping and bushcraft gear? No way. They don't get it. But, then a YouTube friend sort of, a box shows up. I'm like, what is this? It's a beautiful lantern. Anyway, just to let you guys know, I'm very grateful for my lanterns. I love all 3 of them. They're all very different than each other, but they're all just fabulous, and they all work beautifully. Georgia gets cold, snow in the mountains sometimes, but definitely ice storms, and we get ice storms in North Florida. Oh yeah, okay. I will tell you something. The ice storm we got in 1998, which is when I got my this phone number, kicked the crap out of this province and parts of Ontario and New Brunswick and parts of the Lake New England. We had a bad one last year as well, but nothing like 98. 98 was really bad. Even Rain Dance uses his more than you. You could just pass me a few more. I'll just use them. I'll put them up everywhere. I should do one of these live streams from outside before it gets too cold, like in the dark, with all the lanterns lighting the space around me. It'll look grainy because this camera is not terrific with really low light, but I think it'd be all romantic. You know, we're all friends here. We're all hanging out together under lamplight, little moonlight whiskey. Hey, there's Russell, who gave me one of those lanterns. I'm so grateful for to you guys for. Russell, by the way, is also a channel mod. Hold on a second. Everything just jumped. No. Shite. Russell, yes, Russell is a channel mod and a channel hero. So he's got two little icons next to his name. Nice. David lit the lantern Saturday as they sat by the fire pit. Speaking of fire pits, okay, so I was going to prepare a drink for tonight. A friend of mine at work, he makes this mulled cider in the cold half of the year, using it's not European or British cider, it's American cider, so it's just like North American cider. So it just means like that dark apple juice, the hand squeezed, sold for $1 million for a little bottle, delicious as hell. So he mulls it with like cinnamon stick, a clove, some allspice and stuff like that. And he says it's delish if you just add a little goop of bourbon or something to it. So I was going to make that tonight. And I ran to the store to buy a few things for supper. I was like, I'm going to buy the makings for that. I totally forgot like half the stuff I went for, including all the mulled cider stuff. So maybe next weekend, maybe the first live I do that gets done with snow on the ground. I'll do the mulled cider. Okay. A piss. I was going to show you guys the recipe, but it's upstairs. In all fairness, that wasn't me forgetting something. I was not aware that I was going to talk about the mulled cider tonight. But yeah, so when David mentioned the fire pit, that reminded me of that because my buddy's friends who were over on Saturday said this is an ideal campfire drunk. I guess he also has a fire pit in his backyard. He lives in a municipality that demerged from Montreal, so they don't have the same wood burning ban as we do. Off-grid recon in the house. How you doing? Grid? Off-grid recon? How you doing, friend? How's the weather where you are? And are you having a little drink with us? Destiny. Never could figure out how Canada and the US didn't just end up as one country. There's a story there, I'm sure. Well, when what the Americans call the War of Independence and we call the American Revolution was going on, there was a party sent north to invite us to join, and they were politely escorted back to the border. What was happening there was very local to those colonies. Excuse me. And there's a whole different setup up here, first of all, because Canada was French first. That was still like part of the reality up here that just wasn't happening down in the colonies further to the south. So like there was still that sort of two-sided thing happening up here, and that has always loomed larger than tea taxes. Also, I mean, we abolished slavery a lot earlier, right? And the Underground Railroad during the slave times ended north of the border. Some got off the railroad or whatever, sort of in the northern states, but the ultimate end of the Underground Railroad was Canada. So it was just a very, very different place, and so there was no appetite. We earned our freedom or a nationhood by kicking ass in World War I, right? After that, we sort of, like I was there, Prime Minister Borden and guys like that They said, after what we just went through, we get equal status. And that's part of how the British Empire became the British Commonwealth and then eventually the Commonwealth as it is today. Canada was the first of the Commonwealth colonies to get the status of Dominion, followed by like Australia, maybe New Zealand, not sure about that, but then South Africa. But you know, that was because of what we did in the First World War. War crimes and all. But that's very boring. This is why I'm no fun at parties. So Chris says, I get 11 hours a day driving. It's about 720 to 760 miles per day, depending on traffic. That is nuts. Well, maybe it's not so. Like I see driving in like 5-6 hour blocks, you know. Driving all day for me is like excuse me, like it's 10 hours to New Brunswick kind of thing. 10 hours to like the Gaspé where I used to go moose hunting. My mouse is no longer working. Okay, no, it's back. Maybe my batteries are dying. Yeah, Marcus tells David that, you know, Pixar didn't happen, buddy. What a great just moment. Oh, you're gonna do that. What did I do? What did I say? Oh, yeah. Okay, right. Yeah, we're talking about the blower. You blow all your leaves into the woods. Well, the thing is, you've got woods, right? Like where I live on a boulevard, and it's property, right? So like you can't just blow it into the woods in a place like where I live. Excuse me. Shite. Hold on. A small round oven with a stovepipe. ND all. I'm not sure what ND all means, but I guess maybe it's like there's no particular brand, or is ND all the brand? And it's got legs. Okay, I'd like to see that. Send me a picture, unless you already have. I'm just seeing if anyone has sent me anything yet. Okay, no, we're good. Okay. Oh my God. Take that, notification center. So now if someone sends me something, it'll be the only notification that pops on. David is asking Nathan if he's going hunting this week. Man, I miss hunting. I gotta tell you guys, I love being out there in the cold. I was never good at hunting though. I'm fine at skinning a deer, but I never put one on the ground. The guys I was hunting with always got them before I did. Country Boy says, my lady is taken to playing audiobooks while we commute, hoping to distract the road rage monster that lives in my soul. Driving for a living would put me in prison. Yeah, well, you know, that's how I started listening to audiobooks and or podcasts behind the wheel, because it takes me about 40 minutes to drive to work. I live 16 kilometers from the office. It takes me about 45 minutes to drive there in the morning. But it will easily hit 2 hours or 2 hours plus for me to get home in the afternoon. And I realized I was getting palpitations. I was just raging. And so I made this conscious decision. It's like, you know what? I have to turn this into me time and just listen to the podcasts and stuff that I've been trying to catch up on. I can't I have an advert. Who else has an ad right now? Like I can't watch the YouTubes I'm trying to catch up on because you know, danger. But I absolutely I had to change my mindset. I had to sort of turn this into, no, this is me time. I'm gonna relax. I'm gonna listen to some cool stuff. And because I didn't want to die of a freaking heart attack on the way home one night, you know? Excuse me. Canadian's got a bow, so he can hunt until the end of December. Oh, look at that little stove. Mm. That's like, I mean, that's one of the stoves that you would put in. I don't know. I was gonna say you put it inside like a canvas tent, like one of those hot tents, but it looks so compact for the price. Should grab me one. Send it to me. I'd have paid you that. um, Destiny, do you still need a license or whatever to hunt with a bow? Well, I don't know about Ontario, but in Quebec, your firearms license and your hunting permit are two different courses and exams. Oh, homie got something again? An ultralight saw that most have never seen. I'm curious. What's it called? What's the brand on it? You gonna send me a photo that I can share? Or yeah, what's the brand name? Maybe we can look it up. And the model, brand and model. Canadian says, this is Canada. I need a license for everything. Hell, you even need a license for a drone if it's over, was it 250 grams? Russell probably knows, but there's like it. This is why there's this market for these really light drones. Actually, the States has the same rule as us now. It's the same weight. But yeah, above a certain weight, you need to have a drone pilot's license. Honeybee says, speaking of YouTube friends, I recall that I have a hammer to send your way. Dude, I totally forgot about that. That's a long time ago, isn't it? I think we forgot about that. You also ordered something today that is right up my alley. Oh man, you got my curiosity. Something fierce, big guy. Oh yeah, one of those nostalgic stacked leather handled ones, like an S-wing or something. Man, I love those. Love them. Country boy needs to renew his license to breathe come January. Sorry, I just got a notification from the alarm system. What the hell's YW? Oh, you wish. I don't remember what I wish about. I don't remember what I said. I need to do some more Facebook Live drink videos soon. I will. I've been feeling so rough for the past 3 weeks. Almost 4 weeks now. I haven't had any. I made one drink. I was doing a video for my other channel. I edited it. I edited. Start again. I edited like half of it last night, sitting here and just went. I go to bed, But fabulous drink though. I made a sidecar, guys. Okay, whiskey is my thing, right? Whiskey cocktails are my thing, but the sidecar is one of my favorites. It's a classic. There are two schools of thought. One is 1.5 ounces of cognac. I'm on the school of thought where it's 2 ounces of cognac, and then 3/4 ounce of freshly squeezed lemon juice, and 3/4 ounce of like a dry curacao, not the blue shit, like a dry curacao or any orange liqueur, like I think, is it Cointreau? No, like any orange liqueur. Two optionals. You can not salt, but sugar the rim of your glass, which I will do on occasion. And some people add like 1/4 ounce of simple syrup, which I do not do. The drink does not need to be any more sweet. It works beautifully without the extra sugar. So good. But that's the only booze I've had for like 3 and a bit weeks now. But yes, I do plan to do some more Facebook Live drink videos. Oh, nice. What'd you get? I was smart. 2 weeks ago, I bought booze from duty free. Wow, a $16 bottle of what though? Marcus, are you allowed smokeless fire pits? What we're allowed to burn, anything that is like a pellet stove, right? Anything that uses pellets, or like, I guess, natural gas or propane, pro, no, propane. Like, those things with the bonbon, you know, just go with me on this one, people. But it's just anything that you throw logs into. Technically, you're not even allowed to burn charcoal. But I will tell you one thing about that. My barbecue is charcoal. Lump charcoal. Not even those stupid briquettes, man. I'm using my damn charcoal on my barbecue. You cannot beat you cannot beat it. David Evans is doing the God's good work by reminding you guys that that thumbs up button does in fact work. I did not, by the way, just flip you guys the finger. I was flipping the finger to the borough council. It's not even the borough council; it's City Hall. I say what? You did not know that about the invite to join. Yeah, it was there. They did it, and they were mystified that we didn't take them up on it. Yeah, Upper and Lower Canada were sort of eyeing each other. So, interesting thing. The reason why Ottawa is the capital of Canada is because I believe it was Queen Victoria picked it because it was essentially on the border between Upper Canada and Lower Canada, which became Ontario and Quebec. But the reason that it's there and not in Montreal is because it had been in Montreal, and an angry mob of Englishmen burnt down the Parliament buildings because they were angry about new laws that had been passed giving the French Canadians equal rights. So they passed these law, and like this this huge crowd of Englishmen, because at that point there were the British, even though they were born here, the English, what would come to be known as English Canadians, and then there were Canadians, which were at that point called les Canadiens, who were the French-speaking people who had lived here as part of New France before the British took the place over. Anyways, so Parliament buildings got burnt down, and so it was decided, let's just move the capital. So they put it where Ottawa is now. Destiny, here's the thing. We grow up with this idea that everything about us is boring, which means we don't ever get the stories. We're not brought up to care about the stories. Like, and then people watch these, those CBC Heritage Minutes, and they're like, what do you mean we did X, Y, or Z? And it's like, well, it's not boring just because it's us. Some cool stuff happened up here, some interesting stuff, but we're trained from birth to think that everything we do is small and dull. So we don't tend to, it's like, everyone's like, history. I'm like, are you kidding me? History. That's the story of us. That's the story of us. I think about this guy Gabriel Kay. Okay. His first books were a trio of sword and sorcery, dragon, fantasy kind of thing. It's this bunch of school kids or high school or college or something who were from like the glebe in Ottawa who get shunted into this high fantasy world. Very typical first effort for a fantasy author. But he realized very quickly that he doesn't have to come up with anything new because history is the best story ever told. So the rest of his books are all just based, like, they're almost historical books, but like instead of Byzantium, it's Sarantium kind of thing, right? It's these sort of fantasy books with virtually no magic. But all he did was take this story of Rome or Byzantium or um, I don't know. He's done a bunch, like the Middle East of the time. Um, Arabia, I guess, changed a bunch of names, right, and made stories, because history isn't boring, no matter what country you're in. Yeah, there's a lot of blood and there's a lot of, okay, this general won that war and blah blah blah, but there's so many stories that if you go digging, you'll be like, really, I did not know that. Anyways, that's me getting on my stupid soapbox. Um, Man on the Street says Slighted History isn't any better than Jaded. I think that if we look at history less as something that we get graded on, which is hard to do as a high school student, obviously, and more as just the story of who we are, then it becomes it becomes more interesting, And saying that, fully cognizant of the fact that history is written by the winners, right? We very, very seldom get the real story until it sort of comes shooting out of the ground at, a residential school kind of thing. But by that point, it's too late for it to have been told until, way too late. Destiny says, I love driving long distances. Love the drive to Ontario in 12-hour stints. I feel that driving across Canada is like 3 days of, are we out of Ontario yet? But still, I like it. I like a nice long drive. Oh, by the way, hi, Al. How are you doing? Just going to scroll down to make sure that hold on, everything's just jumped. I hate it when it does that. Why does it do that? That sounded so whiny. Why does it do that? Anyways, I did want to mention that Al is a channel hero and a channel mod, so be nice. Al the pal. Now, am I late? Is that the pic you were sending me of the Chose Benush, the stove? Now, Homie Omi just sent me a picture. So, okay. I'm going to hide your name. It's called the Yuka extra light or super light or whatever. It's a silky blade in a silky compatible ultra light handle. That looks like it weighs about as much as a kitten. Yuka 240 pull saw. Yeah, so it's a Gomboy 240 millimeter blade. Ultralight handle. So far, it's very sturdy. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, nice size too. My Silky is a little too small. I think it's the 180 or something. I was going for just something that was really packable, and I think I just went a little too small with my Silky. Chris says, driving over the road has been fun over the past 37 years, but traffic is getting worse, so my days are numbered. But okay, so you're going to be retiring early? I don't even know how old you are. I'm not going to ask you how old you are, but are you thinking of retiring or are you thinking of doing something else? Yeah. Russell says, hunting. I love being out there in the cold. It was 20 C today. Yeah, it was 20 here as well in the afternoon. It was unseasonably warm. Dave is asking Canadian if that stove comes with some sort of a carrying case. Oh, okay. It's built-in handles. Yeah. Hey, look who's here. Just King from Hokkaido. Just King is... Oh, it's a wet... so you're getting rained on? How cold does it get in Hokkaido, by the way? I'm just trying to think of how far north that is. Like, in the winter here, like it'll hit -30 sometimes. Very rarely thankfully, it'll go to like -40. But it's usually sort of, in the winter, it's in the high -20s or the low -20s. I guess low, because the higher the number, the lower the temperature. Moving right along. Destiny says, in Svalbard, you have to call the airport to get clearance to fly your drone. You're absolutely not allowed to fly a drone anywhere near an airport in Canada or over a national park. I think the states have very similar rules now. Yeah, David Evans is asking if everything fits inside the stove. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it does. That stove looks like something I saw in a video where someone unboxed it and everything really kind of fit together. But I don't know if it's the exact same stove. Maybe it is, because he says, yep. So maybe it is that stove. David's going to be in Kingston tomorrow, so maybe I'll go by Princess Auto and get one. Everyone's going to have these stoves. Hey, Grace. Hello, I'm late. How are you doing, Grace? I hope you're doing well. Just taking a look. Apparently, all millennials need a license. I do not know what Christy's talking about, but hey. Yeah, too good a deal, Dave, says Canadian. Damn it. Here I am sitting in Quebec with no Princess Auto. Destiny likes the canvas and leather apron, by the way, that I wear during the How to Make a Drink videos. Yeah. I don't remember where I got it, but it's canvas with leather straps. It's quite nice. It has a big ring on it for a tea towel, like down sort of, so that while you're working, you can just wipe off your hands and then go back to working. It's very nice. It's very good. I have a couple of aprons. I keep thinking I'd like to sort of cycle them, but can't be arsed. Okay, so you bought a vodka and a rum. Nice. Yuck. Aqua Velva is a cheap blue liquor. Blah. It's an alcohol, but it ain't a liquor. Jess is propane. What the? Oh. I think I know what you're talking about. David says, we're going to be in your hood next Friday for a funeral. Well, sorry to hear it. And maybe we can find a way to have coffee that night or something. Contact me offline and see if we can figure something out. If not, we'll just do it next time, but it would be nice. Destiny. Okay, so what it comes from is the fine particulate matter has been causing massive asthma problems in some. Okay, so here's the thing. In some neighborhoods, every house had a fireplace, and he was putting asthmatic kids in the hospital. But it's hard to say that if you live in this neighborhood, you can't burn anything, but if you live in this neighborhood, you can. These laws are always kind of like overarching. Like if you live out in the country, you can still burn. If you live within like the bounds of Montreal, forget about it. It was a 3-phased ban. So the first phase was no new constructions. No new constructions. That sounds weird, but like no newly constructed houses could have a fireplace or wood stove, unless pellet stove or something like that. And then some things were grandfathered in, and some things you needed to get an insert for your fireplace. And then the final stage was that like even the grandfathered in historical houses, they needed to put in an insert or stop using their wood burning, replace everything with pellet or gas. So I guess technically it's air pollution, but it has specifically to do with the fact that the fine particulate matter is very bad for people with asthma. And as someone with asthma, I understand and I agree. As someone who loves a nice fire, I'm like, and when we bought this place, it was right where the ban was coming in. Okay. Because I had thought I was going to put a wood burning stove in the corner of the garage. Excuse me. I was like, nope. And we were thinking maybe putting one in the living room. It's like, nope, can't do it. Made me sad. Hey, Jim. Howdy, Jim. How you doing? Are you on the road? You said you were gonna get in your wheels at like 9:30 tonight. Did that end up happening? And are you doing the long drive tonight or the short drive? Destiny. Oh hell no. It's just very interesting. It's the presenters and the writers about it that are boring as hell. God bless Pierre Burton. Snore. Yeah, Pierre Burton is an author for a different a generation for sure. Bum, 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 bum. David, Destiny, calm down. I almost put you in a timeout. Everyone's saying hi to Jim. Howdy, Jim. Oh, look at that. Beto's here. How you doing? How's the weather down where you were tonight? So you're going into summer down there, right? Wait, no. I've completely forgotten what side of the equator you're on. Yes, you're going to the summer half of the year, aren't you? Oh yeah, Grace. Drunk history is entertaining for sure. Yeah, man, I haven't interacted with that in a long time, actually. Excuse me. Everyone's just sort of saying hi to Beto. Russell says Japan is a long island, man. That's why they have samurai in the north and ninjas in the south. It's a very long island for sure. New Zealand's a long island too. Coach always says that. I think Chris should retire and take up a catering career. Smoked everything. I do love smoked stuff. Jess says we're at 7 degrees Celsius today. Coldest I've been in here was minus 22. That's still pretty respectable. Chris is 55. Can't retire early. When you get to move to our land in northern Arizona, I'll only drive in the west. No more running all over the country. Yeah, I think after a while, that after a certain age, the idea of putting all that behind you and just settling down is probably pretty attractive. Destiny would support Chris as a caterer. His meals always look so delish. I would love to buy a smoker and just smoke everything. Except here's the thing: what I want is the big green egg, or the one that's half the price. What's it called? Kamado Joe, the big red egg, I guess. Ever since I did a 10-hour brisket with some friends of ours in his, at the end of all that time, and like with these things, you can have like just a couple of clumps of charcoal in the bottom, and just sort of keep it going all day because you have that much control over the airflow and everything. That's what I would like to use to smoke with. I'd rather not get an electric smoker, but affordability is key, right? Peanut Trucker has thought about it. He'd love to cook full time. Thought about getting your start at Waffle House. Can't beat a good Waffle House. Destiny has said that can't be arsed is in the quotable quotes now. Good to know. Country Boy says to Chris, if you're going to work at the Waffle House, I hope you know how to throw a punch or a chair or a coworker. Was that at a Waffle House? I saw a video once of like suddenly everything went to throwing hands and chairs and stuff. Russell says that fires are sweet, especially in a wood stove. I agree. And I'm jealous, so great. Oh, thank you, David, for agreeing. Yes, wood stoves are awesome. I get it. Shark drive tonight. I think he means short drive. Driving right now. Nice. Well, safe home. Shark Drive. That sounds like one of those, direct to streaming movies, like Sharknado Part 12, Shark Drive. All these sharks doing the Fast and the Furious routine. I don't know where I'm going with this. Early drunk history was good. I haven't seen any in a long time, so I don't know. Yes, I get it early. Country says electric smokers aren't always affordable. My Bradley Digital was $600. Yeah, wow. Okay. But it's still half the price of one of these Kamado Joe. Like especially the 14-inch. I think that's like 12, 8, 12. At least the 16-inch that's 12 and the and the 14 is 8 or something like that. I don't quite remember. Because it's a dream thing for me. I'm not planning to pick one up. I have so much stuff to pay for. Christy, they have a Camp Chef. Also it I don't hit the woods enough to justify buying anything right now. Like this past year's been the worst, I think. The absolute worst. Peanut Trucker says Waffle House always has good fights in the middle of the night in the South. Are they open like 24 hours? Or are they open till midnight or something? Excuse me. Oh, I thought somebody said something, but I don't. Hold on. Let me just scroll to the bottom of the YouTube page. No, that is the that's where we got to with the comments. Just hold on one little second. I just got a notification from the wife. She will be coming home relatively soon from work, I guess. Where were we? It was getting really fascinating. I don't remember what we were talking about. It's 21:58. I do have a bottle. Do I feel like it? I'll pour a small one. Country Boy is starting his bourbon without me. I'm pouring a scotch. This is a 5-year. Ardbeg. I used to be a very hardcore Ardbeg fan. They have all these committee releases, which are releases that you can only get if you're on the committee. They're like cast strength. They're increasingly expensive as hell. Give me 1 second. Oh yeah, but like for the past few years, they're just like there's a new limited edition like every 12 seconds, and the prices are going absolutely through the roof. The era is over for me. It really is. I'm taking this opportunity to text my wife because I've just noticed that there's an advertisement on the screen. So I'm assuming that none of you can see me anyway. Excuse me. Christy's also having a bourbon on the second of the night. Okay. Country Boy is having the Rabbit Hole Derringer, which I hear is fabulous. I have a Rabbit Hole, not the Derringer though. Mine is the, I don't remember what it's called. It's the one. It's a little more affordable than the Derringer. What the hell is it called? I don't remember. I don't remember. Hey, there's Jay Garcia. How are you doing? Man, I am so tired of that. That coughing and that sniffling and that all this. Oh, Christy got no ad. Country Boy didn't get an ad either. Okay. So only some people got. Jim is 2 minutes away from having a beer tonight. You want me to wait for you before I take the first sip of my dram? You know what? I'm gonna wait for Jim to get his beer. I think it's fair. And it's you know, it's a 5-year scotch, so I'll let it sit there for a few more minutes to open up. So let me know when you got your beer in hand there, Jim. It's weird. Russell says, Jim. So Russell is definitely happy to see Jim's name popping up. So Jay, how are things tonight where you are? How's the weather? Are you in a warm spot, or are you cold tonight? I know that you told me around where you are, but I forgot. So sorry about that. You don't have to say it again. I don't like asking people for their locations during a live stream because it gets a little awkward. Speaking of awkward, sorry about this, guys. This Country Boy says that I should drink with Jim because he's already drinking with Christy. Fair enough. That's why I'll wait for Jim. Last live stream, this happened as well, where as the as the night went on, my throat got worse and worse. So Jay's watching the election. Yeah, well, 10 o'clock. At this point, we're probably starting to see the urban results start to roll in as well, because they usually take a lot longer than the rural ones. So maybe they're not going to pull it off after all. I almost took a sip, but I'm waiting for Jim, like a true hero of the alcohol genre. What? Who knows what I'm talking about? Who the hell knows? It's weird because the older this bottle gets, the less I like it. It's like there's a Band-Aid element that gets stronger with it over time. And the Band-Aid is what I don't like about peated whiskeys from Isla. I like a peated whiskey that does not have that big iodine hit. And this really does, which is weird because Ardbeg's not big on the iodine. Like Lafroig, I can't handle because the iodine is way too big. But, you know, I don't know. Yeah, Russell, I think that for real official results, we may have to wait a couple of days even, unless expectations are completely off. So I'm, they may call it and have to backtrack for all we know. I don't know. It looks to me like Jim's got his beverage. So Jim, Slán Siobhan. And to those of you who are already drinking, cheers to you as well. Yeah. I don't like that nearly as much as I used to. Oh, you live in Puerto Rico. Okay, it's 81 degrees and thunder showers. It was a dark and stormy night. I'm trying to visualize where on the globe Puerto Rico is, like in terms of the equator. Like, are you guys going into the winter half of the year like we are, or are you guys going into summer? I'm realizing that I actually have no idea where Puerto Rico is. That's embarrassing. I pride myself on knowing a lot of map stuff because I love maps, but I have no idea where Puerto Rico is. I'm totally drawing a blank on that. Hmm. Country, do they actually use iodine for that, or is it just an aroma you get from the process? Yeah, no, they don't add. They don't add anything to it. It's just, um, it's a part of the process of drying the barley by burning peat. That's what gives it the peated, smoky element. But with some, it adds this iodine note that I don't love at all. Whereas with some, you end up with a much stronger briny note, and I love a briny note. South of Cuba, okay. Okay. I felt it had to be somewhere in that area, but I couldn't visualize it. Um, Christy says, oh, hold on. Russell said, I had an iodine scotch once. It's wild how strong it was. I didn't like it at first, but I think after half a dozen, I'm pretty sure I liked it. Yeah, that might have been a Lefroy. They're very famous for that iodine note. Some people love it. Nope. Christy says, I'm surprised it doesn't taste different to you due to my head cold. Smell and taste wise, it might. I mean, that's logical, you know? I don't know. Oh, yeah, okay, I know where the BVI I know where BVI is. It's between Punta Cana and BVI. Okay. Yeah, that helps. That absolutely helps. It's weird because when I first bought this is my second bottle of this. Now, here's the thing. Apparently it's very batchy, which means that some batches are good and some batches are not. And this is my second bottle of this, and the first bottle did not give me that weird iodine note at all. So it might just be a batch thing. But I mean, like, I'm shy about buying another one now, right? So weird. So weird. Yeah. David is also showing me how I need to look at maps more often. So we're at 10 o'clock exactly, which is nice. Which means that I did start my dram a little bit before 10, but I was I figured it would be nice if somebody waited for Jim. And so when he got his beer, I decided that he and I would have a drink together. Homie's back. Did you buy a new cool tool between leaving and coming back? Excuse me. There is a nice saltiness there, like a saltwater element. And I like the peatiness. And there's an ashy note that I like. There's a lot of stuff that I like about this Ardbeg wee beastie. But it's that the iodine just hits so hard though, and it really didn't at first. It's like as the as the bottle oxidizes, the iodine note comes up through the mix or the whatever. The notes get stronger. Yeah, homie, I actually showed it to the peeps here. I thought you were still hanging with us. I didn't know you'd gone away. But yeah, I showed it. I think it's very cool. It looks like it weighs almost nothing. I mean, because the silky is already pretty light. So if you went ultra light on one of those, it must weigh like nothing. Have you used it yet, or is it still brand new? Oh, you contacted a custom Kydex maker for the saw? Salty Lake, a saltwater taffy. I mean, not quite like that. Although there is a certain caramel note there from the American oak barrels for sure. Guys, I would love to have a hobby distillery, like a tiny craft distillery. But because I would want to put a barrel of like a single malt and a barrel of a 100% rye away for 10 years, I'm really running out of time. I'm 52. You know, I don't think that's ever going to happen in this lifetime. Yeah, it's super light. Absolutely. It looks absolutely super light. What's the handle made out of? Is it like an aluminum thing or a titanium or something like that? Or is it like a, I don't know. Like what's it made out of? Oh, it's brand new. You haven't even used it yet. Okay. Is it like an aluminum handle? Russell says, "You're not only 52." Wait, are you only 52? Yeah, I'm only 52. But like, say I won the lottery tomorrow, 30 mil. By the time I'm done jumping through all the hoops that the government requires for me to be able to for me to buy this still and set up even just a hobby distillery, I'm not starting. Like if I win the lottery tomorrow, because a column still or a pot still, you need to have some bucks. Okay, if I win tomorrow, getting the permit in Canada is so hard. It may as well be illegal, but it's not illegal. It's just really hard to get permitted. Maybe I spend a year working on the permit, and then and of course learning how to use the still, and then I put away a barrel for like a 10-year, put away one for a 3-year, because under 3 years you can't call it whiskey, right? So you put away a barrel for like a 3-year, you put away a barrel for maybe a 5, and then one for a 10, right? Of single malt, then you do the same thing with rye. By the time I get to the 10, like by the time I can open the 10, I'm 63 years old, you know? So like I have one bottle of barrel of 10-year-old in my life at that point. Because I'm getting too old to roll the barrels. Like I don't want to hire people. I would want it to be like a hobby distillery. Russell says, "Okay, everyone, check in. If you won 30 mil tomorrow, what are you doing with it?" Hey, you know what? That's a great question for the team. Uh, Homie says, "I'm going to add the 10-inch saw to the 11-inch blade along with a couple of other things and have a Kydex baldric sheath made." I'm going to want to see pictures when that's done, dude. That sounds excellent. If Destiny wins 30 mil tomorrow, she's sending Russell to Puerto Rico with Al. Country Boy is buying me a still. Thanks. Jay says apparently it's 87.4% Republicans win. Hold on. You're buying me some hair. I don't need no hair. I don't need no hair. I would like a canoe though. Homie is saying, sorry, country boy, but it already came with a leather sheath, so no, I'll have both. Country boy, wasn't I supposed to send you my silky saw to get a sheath made? Am I remembering this right? Am I remembering that right? But I look so cute with hair. When was the last photo you saw of me with hair? Oh, all the photos of me on my band's website are with hair, aren't they? Foxit would buy 10 square miles of land and live under the center of it in a bunker. Russell typed canoe, but then I thought about what you need more. Yeah, but the canoe is the key to, my peace of mind. Being solo in a canoe, sitting in the middle of a lake with no houses around. Christy would retire and travel the US and Canada for starters. Jim is buying a new boat, then a bunch of woods for your little cabin. That's a nice plan. I wouldn't mind buying a 30-foot sailboat. That's true, Russell. I did have hair when I started this channel. I did. In fact, I wonder how many episodes I had hair for before I got rid of it. Probably a bit. I mean, I started this channel, like 11 years ago? Was it 2013? Was it like July of 2013, or am I totally blowing that? I would check, but I can't be arsed to do it right now. I'm afraid of closing a window. I would also buy the council tool. Oh, what's it called? They're little, the little double-edged. What the hell is it called? Hold on a second. Counciltool.com. Does that sound right? Counciltool.com. Ooh, they got a bunch of new products. But I'm looking for axes. No, I'm not going to count. I'm not going to join the list. New products. Axes. View products. Splitting Mall. No. Hudson Bay Camp Axe. No. I would absolutely go hunting for a Norland Hudson Bay Camp Axe. They're expensive and a shift, but okay, no, not the big. I'm looking for the tiny. Oh, wait. It's one of their premium ones, so it's in a different section. Am I right? Velvet Cut, I think they call it. I think they call it Velvet Cut. Oh, has it been discontinued? Or is it a Woodcraft? I'm gonna find this. Oh, shite. Maybe they've discontinued it. Heartbreak. Heartbreak. I guess I'm not getting one. I don't remember what it was called. It was like $240. Oh, it's not on their website anymore. People, the heartbreak is real. Oh, Shifty. Shift. I am unhappy about this. Not that I could afford it. I mean, why am I even bothering to be unhappy? I mean, it's not like it was something I could just, I'm going to buy. I just spent, did I tell you guys this? I probably did. I'm so boring. But I recently spent $350 on like earplugs for when I'm on stage because my hearing is shot, and hearing aids are massively expensive, and insurance only gives me like $500 towards them. But that I can put off till next year. Actually, their 3.5-pound sport utility Michigan Classic double bit looks pretty good too. It's a 36-inch handle, but man, the one that I was looking at was just like a small like hatchet sized. I am massively irritated here, people. All right, so I'm gonna ignore it and go back to the live stream because I'm probably boring you people. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, Jim is on his second brew. Hold on. I'll pour myself one more dram of this stanky, disappointing. It's got a real drying effect on the tongue as well, which I don't remember from before. I mean, that itself isn't bad though. It's not the Michigan. They had a small. David is going to buy 80 acres of land, build a cabin, and start a YouTube channel. What that's been done. You have a YouTube channel. So hold on. You have a YouTube channel. You're just ignoring it. Christy's asking what the beer is that Jim is drinking. Russell with 30 mil would buy superpowers and fight for world peace through superior firepower. Because getting world peace through superior firepower has worked so well for certain countries. You know what you just reminded me of though? That scene in, was it Iron Man or one of those where Tony Stark has been hauled in front of like a Senate subcommittee, and they're talking about how like, oh my god, people are building suits, and he's like, I need to borrow your screens for a minute. And he shows like this North Korean suit going haywire and all this stuff, and he says, you know, you can't have my tech, but you're welcome. And they're like, for what? And he said, I have successfully privatized world peace. He said, I'm your nuclear deterrent. I've successfully privatized world peace. And people break into applause. Do you guys remember this scene? Am I right? It's from like Iron Man or Iron Man 2 or something. I know it's Tony Stark. I know it's about his suit. Christy is saying the same thing that I said. You have a YouTube channel. I think we should all peer pressure David into making content. That's a terrible thing to say. I don't mean that at all. Country Boy says, I was supposed to tell what implement you wanted a sheath made for. I was going to buy that implement and water form a sheath to it. I think what I was thinking requires a sheath the most is my silky. Oh, hold on. Okay, I just got it. Okay, so Jim said Michigan Axe. Christy said, is that the name of the brew? Okay. And I just picked that up because Raven said, no, the Axe. What was it called? Axes and Brew, man. Axes and Brew. That's a song that needs to be written. Would be a cool name for a beer. The problem is like all the outdoorsy named beer, they're all like IPAs. I'm like, why would you do that? Like name all these great, like have all these great outdoorsy names for IPAs. Like clearly an outdoorsy beer is like a brown, maybe a stout, maybe not. But like something better than a freaking IPA. I have a philosophy though, right? Like IPA makes me dry heave, so I'm not going to come at it from a position of love and affection. Oh, it was called the Saddle Axe, the Premium Saddle Axe. Here, I will share the screen out. Love it. Couldn't afford it, and now it's gone. Funk, I say. Hold on a second while I share. Yes, I understand. Let's proceed. I say boom, and I also say boom. You guys seeing this? Look at that beauty. And unlike a lot of sort of these little boutique doubles that are being put out, this one actually has the two sides sharpened to different um, um, profiles. Because the thing about these cruisers, these saddle cruisers and stuff, is that one side had a not a blunt edge, but a more like a blunter angle on it for if you're cutting down near the roots or something like that, like you're grubbing around, and one fine side for like blazing the bark on a tree. Oh, I didn't show it on the screen on the. Sorry. So there it is. Hold on, let me dismiss this. Shut up. Right? Kind of a weird non-traditional shape. Like, there is a head shape that I prefer for a double, but I love this little size. Yeah, yeah, so it's a double bit. One edge is, ground to 32 degrees and one to 25. Beautiful. Um, pre-hanging handle length is 16. Actual post-hanging length is about 15.5. So, I mean, beautifully just you can pack this thing, you know? Okay, just hold on a second here. Where was I? Christy thinks my cold is messing with me. Stank scotch. Yeah, it's whatever. Oh, nice. Homie ordered a Bark River Bushcrafter LT with handles that match the Bravo 3. That's going to be a nice little pair for sure. Excuse me. Russell says we should all win like 30 mil each. Then we can buy like 1,000 square kilometers of land with lakes and rivers and visit each other on Tuesdays on stone roads with horses. The live stream would be more like a river. That's going on the shoot too. Yeah, that's why I figured that's sort of part of the package deal you're building towards. So I love it. It's gonna be nice. Twilight Life Cabin. Country Boy says to Discord and we can discuss. Sure. Yeah, I'll do that. It has to be broadleaf forest. No. On your part of the 1,000 acres, you're gonna have all the broadleaf you want, but I want some conifers, man. Russell says, no, Jim says, Russell, that sounds like a task. Write a song called Axes and Brew for a special feature. Yeah, that's a sweet little axe. Yeah, sorry, homie. I forgot to hit show on stream. Yeah. I'm still learning this tech. it's a it's hard to complain when I'm only spending like $17 US a month rather than the 40 that I was paying before. But yeah, my throat's giving out on me. So disappointing. So disappointing. It's so tough to be sick. Excuse me. Hold on. I was gonna check something to show you guys, and true. Actually, there's a lot of evergreen in hardwood forests. Yeah, in fact, I think that the best is like a mixed forest land with excuse me, a lot of oak, some maple, I want there to be like a lot of aspens for that phase of the forest when they turn the whole forest light, sort of that yellow. Want some birches. Birches don't last very long, but they're kind of a pioneer species. But I love the look of a nice birch, and then like a shift ton of conifers for sure. Maybe a little hemlock, some tamarack, all the trees. I just love all the trees. Christy's got an ad. Oh, and I just accidentally closed the damn window. I don't have an ad right now, which is weird. So they either get a small 12 to 15. Perfect size. Just want seminal and boreal trees. The boreal is shite. Chris is out. All right, good night, brother. I'll speak to you later. Happy travels tomorrow. Get there safe, okay? Of course he's gonna get there safe. The guy knows how to drive the roads better than any car driver does. Jim has gotten no ads tonight. That's interesting. Destiny got an ad with an option to skip. I didn't get an ad at all. Country Boy, still no ads. Interesting. So weird. I see. Homie finished. Yeah, I feel that you either get a small 15 to 16-inch axe, or if you're going two-handed, 18 to 32. Yeah, or like 36 is an excellent longer axe for sure. My small forest axe, I believe, is an 18-inch handle, which is fabulous length. But like for like a real small, I've got a tiny hatchet with a 10-inch handle that is perfect for some tasks. Not great for everything though, for sure. But it was my first real good axe. It's a Wetterling's, what they were calling the buddy hatchet. Before that, they called it the hand axe. Then they changed the name to the buddy hatchet, and now, of course, they're making axes for Gransfors. So there's a Gransfors that's that small as well. Fabulous little pocket-sized axes. So there's a real use case for those. Then something around that, that the 12 to 15-inch size is also really nice. I've got a couple around there. To me, there's a real magic to the Gransfors small forest axe. It's like my number one for sure. Then I have a couple of full-size forest axes, the Wetterlings ones. I believe they're like 26 or 28-inch handles, but I'm not entirely sure. And they're back there, and I'm not walking off camera to grab them. But like a felling axe or something, those are longer, Pshaw, the maple leaf is the seminal tree. Maple is excellent for burning. I don't love carving it though. Like for me, carving it's like birch. It's terrific. David would buy me a boreal forest. I would take that for sure. Jim, you're being a brat right now. If he won the lottery, he'd buy palm trees for his boreal forest. What? Everything in between is so dangerous. You mean in terms of the lengths? That one thing that my small forest axe is dangerous for is like if I'm trying to carve, you can get caught up with that long handle if you're just trying to do some like precision carving. I've gotten that caught in a sleeve before, and I was like, nope. Like I stopped immediately and I was like, okay, this axe is too long, and I swapped out for my tiny little guy. Yes, the maple is useful for many things, and it's like oak in that it's a hardwood that burns beautifully, and it burns for a while. It doesn't sort of the way like a birch does, or cedar, just like gone. Those are good for starting a fire, but if you want something that's going to burn for a lot of the night, you want something like a maple, like a beech ash, oak. Jim also loves the maple. I think it's because every time you see a maple leaf, Jim, you think of your fine Canadian friends. Homie's got a 20-inch, 2-pound axe, and it's 2 in between, longer is safer. I think with a 2-pound head, I would definitely up that to like a 26 or 28-inch handle, for sure. Russell says, I like it, Jim. We should build a massive greenhouse like they have at the Toronto Science Center. I've never seen the Toronto Science Center, but I love the idea of a giant greenhouse. Oops, I missed it. Oh, there it is. Oak is great for burning, but they take forever to season. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, but worth it, or they take so long that it's kind of not worth, like the payoff just isn't there. Russell, what do you think? Jim has never been to the Toronto greenhouse. Haven't been that far into Ontario in 40 plus years. Dude, it's not even that far in Ontario. I guess actually if you're coming up from the south, it kind of is. Maybe. It's not so much a greenhouse as a jungle, saith Russell. Homie says, so Hardcore Hammers has a 3-pound, 28-inch axe, the Raptor axe. Do you mind giving your opinion if time permits? I've never seen it. I've only, I've never held a Hardcore Hammers anything. I know what the company is. I know what they look like. I kind of feel that the hammers I've seen, hold on. Hardcore Hammers. Like, it seems to me that they go for that real kind of testosterone-y thing. Like, they look really, but I don't know if they back up what their price calls for. Like, they seem really expensive. I'm just looking them up because I seem to feel that like their axes hit like $200 pretty fast. I would be looking this up if it would load. Okay, there it is. Yeah, these are expensive. Like, I don't know if they... I'm going to share this screen. It said that they're good at chopping and splitting. Hold on. I'm trying to share the screen. Yes, I understand. Let's proceed. God. Okay, is it sharing this time or do I have to? Okay, show on stream. So, so look, what we got here, this Camp Companion, the Corporal's Corner edition. Okay, so that's a tie-in with a YouTuber, but like $230.99. Okay, for a 16-inch handle, right? Hand sharpened to perfection, dude. If they're putting this in any knife or axe company that goes out of its way to mention how sharp it is, like, that's not a selling point or not, dude, because anyone who buys your tool will know how to sharpen it. It's got the Corporal's Corner logo. Look at that. Oh, and you've got this choice between natural raw steel and black FNC treated. I hate that look. Dude, don't blacken the head on my axe. God. So those are the highlights. Triple wedged head attachment. Over 8 months of collaboration with Sean Kelly from Corporal's Corner created this masterpiece. The camp axe category has changed forever. Except I don't know anyone who has anything by this company. And like, I've seen them in the stores. No, these no longer come with a lanyard hole? What? Like, it's 231 US dollars. The main selling point to um hardcore anything has always been sort of this it looks like a meat tenderizer on the hammer end, on the hammer puck thing there. But it's just they're so expensive. Camp Companion Axe, the hardcore edition. So this is the non-Corporal's Corner edition. $20 less, essentially. There's a Ranger full-size 4-pound felling and splitting for 242 US dollars. But what's weird about them is that this seems to be like an identity thing. Is that look at how short these bits are. Okay, that's not going to matter for the first 10 years you own the axe. But if this is really right, because they're all like these are so hardcore. If this is really an axe you're going to hand down, there ain't that many decades of sharpening before you go right past the temper, right? I mean, it's just there's not enough there for this to be a generational axe. And if I'm going to throw $242 at it, I need to be able to pass this down. Like look at this. Look at this. So is that's a splitting wedge on this side, I guess? Front edge is a razor sharp axe head. Red edge, I think they mean rear edge, is a splitting wedge. But a wedge is something you put in and then wail on with a hammer. I think they mean like a maul. So it's a splitting maul on the back end, on the back end. That's a splitting maul, and this is your chopping axe here. Dude, this is on sale from 330. Like, look at how. Look at how. No, because there isn't enough there for this to be anything like a generational axe. I mean, this sounds like I'm talking about something kind of nebulous and what, but no. That's 308 US. This is a $400 axe. My super high tech stage earplugs are 350, right? For $400, right? You can buy a lens for a camera, right? If you're a YouTuber, you can buy equipment, and there are great axes out there for half this price or even less. I'm not, excuse me, I'm not one of these guys who backs this concept that people are always banging on about. Like, someone comes on to the forums or whatever is saying, I'm new to axe. I'm new to axe. I'm new to axemanship. I'm looking for a good axe at around X price. And people are suggesting, Gransfors, they're a little expensive, but they're worth it. Council Tool, they have a premium line that's a little expensive, but they're worth it. And they have a more affordable line. And then someone from the back raises his hand and says, roll your own. And I don't agree with those guys when someone is, I'm new to axe. I'm looking to buy an axe. Roll your own. No, you don't know with this guy. He may not have the skill to roll his own yet. He will have the skill, right? Because you develop the skill for how to, resurrect a head and hang it. You do develop that skill, whether you like to or not. But when someone is brand new to axe, I'm like, I'm looking for a new axe. Don't tell them to roll their own. But you can get a stonking deal if you just buy a head and throw your own handle on it, okay? But these things are, I don't think I wouldn't buy one without being able to swing one. Like at that kind of price, you really need to heft one in your hand, and because the handles don't look that great. They look like they're machine-made handles, right? They look like they're like, I don't know. Am I going too far into this? Should I just shut up? Like, you guys have my idea that I'm very skeptical about this brand. I like at that kind of money. I feel like Gransfors has been around so much longer and is such a proven brand. I feel like Council Tool, even their premium line, is more affordable than that, and they've been around forever, and they're a premium and they're a proven brand. And if you're one of these people who's like, I need a made in America, then Council Tool is great, right? They're like one of, if they're not the only, then they're one of like what, two or three of the old school axe manufacturers that are still pounding them out in the United States. And they haven't, they didn't disappear and get resurrected as nothing more than a name, you know. I'm sure they're very good at chopping and splitting. I'm worried about longevity and through our there are more affordable axe out there. Uh, I feel that they're a solution in search of a problem. In that Hardcore Hammers has decided we're gonna make an axe, man, and it's gonna look so much like us. It's gonna be like an identity thing, right? It's not just some effeminate Swedish steel. No, man, this is America. That's what it feels like that axe is, right? It reminds me of Best Made. I don't know if Best Made is still around. It was a New York company, started by two guys, one from down there and one from like Toronto, I think, who had moved down there. And their axes were all made by Council Tool, and then these guys repainted the hafts and everything, and made them really skookum looking, and upped the price, unbelievable. And they're selling these things as wall hangers, as like wall art. And I don't think that's what's happening here. I think that, I mean, these guys have clearly engineered their own heads, but they look so. Why would you design a head with that short a bit? Like, you're guaranteeing that your grandson or your granddaughter will not be using that axe, because by the time you're done a lifetime of using it and sharpening it up when needed with a file, and your son or daughter has finished a lifetime of sharpening it up with a file or a stone, there's almost none of the bit left. I mean, I've seen some old axe heads that are like that, and they were made with like the full size bit, the full length. I really think I'm going too far into this. It's just, I've looked at them before, and I've always thought, why is it so stubby? And not all the models are stubby, by the way. It's just, why are any of them that stubby? Russell says the maples you have season a third of the time, but oak doesn't burn 3 times longer. You see, I had no idea that it took that much longer to season oak. So yeah, that would put maple above oak for me, because I think oak would burn a little longer, but not enough to make that worthwhile for sure. Jim says oak are so ugly in the winter too. No, a lot of trees are kind of ugly in the winter when it gets all gray. And Russell needs a good splitting axe. Yes, you do. It's not hard to get a really good axe these days, guys, and you don't have to spend like it feels sometimes that you've got the choice between the $50 Canadian Tire special or one of those god awful Fiskars things with the plastic handle, or you're spending like $400, and it's not. Council Tools affordabler lines are still good axes. They're just a little less refined than their Velvet Cut or their whatever the other premium line is called. You know, you can get a fairly affordable Council Tool that will definitely do the job. Can you get a fairly affordable Gransfors? Not like you used to be able to, for sure. but they're gorgeous. Nobody makes them like Grounds First in terms of balance, slim handle in the hand and all that stuff. It's an upcharge though. Well, Country Boy says, oak is a great payoff for BTUs. You just need the space to store it for a year and a half until it's burnable. Like, I'm guessing you would probably want to store your oak separate from your maple or your beech or your ash, right? Because it takes so much longer. Jim was in Windsor for a couple of hockey games. Fair enough. 2 weeks ago. I haven't seen a hockey game in like 30 years. David was going to pick up a Fisker 28-inch splitting axe on sale at Canadian Tire this week. Fair enough. I cannot use one of those for a very long time. I have a 28-inch Fisker that I use as a grubbing axe, but I can't use it long term because that stupid hollow polymer handle just shoots the vibrations right into my hands, and I'm already dealing with arthritis in both my wrists, so they get numb really fast. Homie says, one guy on YouTube in Alaska said it's good at chopping and splitting. I think they're probably great at chopping and splitting. I just think that the upcharge is eye-watering. Absolutely eye-watering. Jim picked up a Fisker saw at an estate sale for $2 and a Buffalo skinning knife for another 50 cents. Wow. Nice. Like that. Homie, check out the Council Tool line. I'm not sure if you really care about Made in America. Generally, I don't, because it's just another foreign country, right? To me, Made in America is fine. It's great. It's not Far East. Made in the UK is great. It's fine. It's not Far East. Obviously, I'm going to prefer Made in Canada, but it's not as big a selling point for me, especially not against something that's made in the States or the UK or Germany or something, right? I think all of these are good places to source your stuff from. and I'm not against, by the way, made in China. I think stuff made in China for the Chinese is actually fairly high quality. It's the stuff that they make for what the misers over here want to pay. That's where things turn into real junk. But I do like supporting local businesses as much as possible. To me, local, sitting in Montreal can mean Vermont, right? It can mean New Hampshire, way more than it's going to mean Kuujjuaq, that's in my province, but it's a 5-hour flight. Well, maybe not a 5-hour flight, but it's like 2,600 kilometers north. That's not local, just because we're within the same political subdivision, right? To me, like, local, it could be Ottawa, it can be the tri-state area, it can be Vermont, right? That's what local to me is, in terms of carbon footprint, in terms of being able to see the person making the thing, because I really get off on visiting a small 1 to 8-man shop kind of thing and talking about what I want. I am there for it. I will gladly spend the upcharge. That's why that base over there that I keep showing you guys was like $5,000, right? Because I went to the shop in New York City. At that point, I believe it was Queens. No, the Bronx, but they've moved to whatever. It doesn't matter. I chose the wood that went into it. I spoke to Roger Sadowski. That's local to me, way more than something further north. Or made in Canada. Great. The thing is, between me and my fiddler, there are 4,400 kilometers, right? I mean, so like, that's no closer to me than if I bought something made in New York City or even Boston. Oh man, everything's really going on me here. Country Boy has a 28-inch Fisker splitting axe, 10 years old, full of nicks, and still works like it was brand new. Well, if that's the experience you've got with it, then you can't argue with that, right? At the end of the day, the best axe you have is the one you have on you. Russell says, when you gotta chop 3 bush cords in the afternoon, then tenderize some Wagyu for dinner. Oh, yeah, the one that Homie Omi was asking about, the hardcore hammers, because of the meat tenderizer look on the hammer. And Jim loves that stuff he picked up at the estate sale, for sure, of course. Excuse me. Who would be so sacrilegious as to tenderize Wagyu? That's a hard question to answer, isn't it? I'm trying to get to the bottom here because we're at 22:56. So, starting to leave. Wife has an early doctor's appointment. Then we go to a funeral. Great way to spend my 60th birthday. So heading to bed. Good night tomorrow. Good night and happy birthday tomorrow, Jim. I knew I could get it out if I tried really hard. Have you guys seen the splitting malls that have the levers that snap the wood apart when it hits? Ray has one of those. Never seen them anywhere else. Yeah, it's called the Chopper One. They get very, very mixed results. I don't want one because I don't see the need for the gadget value. But I have heard that before the springs break on them, they really do work well. So I'm not going to say that nobody should buy them. I'm saying that for me, I just prefer a splitting maul that's got like more of an engineered angle to it than any kind of gadget. Part of me still wants one just to try out and do a video on, but they're too expensive for me to buy just as a, to do a video on. Country Boy says to Jim, but I think he's already gone. Sorry to hear about the loss. Hope it turns out to be a great birthday regardless. Take care. Yeah, what a way to spend your birthday. Apparently I'm being silly. You'd have to use that axe daily to remove that much steel from the axe. No, because I'm not thinking of it just as my axe. I really I try to buy tools that will be generational, that I can pass down, and if my daughter uses them to death, then that's great. And then she gives to her kids. I don't love the idea of buying a tool that is only going to last like my lifetime, because my lifetime's it's over half over. It's over half over. You know what I'm saying? Russell says, on the oak versus maple thing, when you finally have your property in your cabin, you're going to use whatever is available. So there's no point worrying. Yeah, that's for sure. It's all theoretical until you've got a forest. Country Boy says, mall weight totally depends on the handle. That is true. That is true. And by the way, my mall is like an $80 Canadian Tire special, right? Made in India. So I'm not in any position to pass judgment on the quality of anyone else's maul, for sure. But it does work, and I can get it relatively sharp. For a maul, you don't have to go like hair splitting sharp, right? Like you want it to be just a little. You want it to be less sharp than that, because you need an edge that's going to be robust. And the sharper an axe blade is, the more fragile it is, the more prone it is to chipping or rolling, right? So for a maul, you don't need like the hair popping sharpness, no. You just need to be good enough to get into the fibers, and then the cheeks of the maul will just blow it apart. Or as Russell says, my maul is heavy as hell and dull as a cat's head, but it still splits. Especially if you got like some weight there. Christy's got a maul and they can't even use it. Is it because it's too heavy? Country Boy's got a 4-pound maul. I think mine's a 4-pounder as well. Steve would lose another toe, she says. Fair enough. Christy says, no hockey game in 30 years. What kind of Canadian are you? Dude, last time I gave a crap about hockey, the captain of the Canadians was Carbonneau. So maybe I'm not exactly on with the 30 years, but it's been a long time. It's just the game is too Hollywood now. Okay, we're at 2,300. It looks to me like, oh, Marcel popped in near the end there. How's it going, Marcel? How are you doing tonight? I guess 11 o'clock couldn't land fast enough because my throat's just, it's gone on me. Like my voice is just getting worse and worse. I love what Russell said though. My mall is 4 pounds when I start, about 20 pounds when I'm done. Yeah, they do feel that way. But for now, it was nice to have my first dram in like 3 weeks with you people. I hope to see you next week. Between now and then, everybody, please stay sane, stay safe, stay healthy, and be kind to one another. Good night, folks.